Hi everyone, welcome back to another PDQPD. Today I want to show you a feature that has now come to Google that was a part of Microsoft Word for a long time, and that is the ability to create a watermark in a document. And I'm going to give you a couple of use cases for using a watermark. It's not something you use all the time, but when you need it, nothing else will do. So let me show you how this works. On the screen you see a blank Google Doc. I've just put on there, I haven't put in any text yet. In order to put in a watermark, you first have to create the watermark somewhere else, and I'll show you about that in a second. But when you're ready to insert the watermark, you go up here to Insert, and then scroll down to Watermark. Click on that, and the watermark panel opens. And putting the watermark in is simply a matter of clicking here, and this looks like some other features in Google where you have the option of selecting an image from your drive, from your photos. You can do an image search, URL, take a picture from your camera, or you can upload a file. So this is my drive, the recent documents. I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to grab this logo that we use sometimes for the digital integration department. And I'm going to click Insert, and you see it plugs the insert, the picture that I chose, right into there as a watermark, and it's faded out. Now over here on the panel, the controls you have, it doesn't look like you have much control, and you don't, but I'm going to show you some other options. You can make the picture larger or smaller by simply clicking the percentages. I'm going to go back to the automatic. If you want this to be full color, you uncheck the faded box. But unfortunately, when you put text over this, you won't be able to read it because it's so bright. So you're probably going to want to leave it faded. And then when you're ready to take that watermark off, you just click the Remove Watermark. Now that doesn't look like you have many options. However, if you go to the watermark and double click on it, you see some handles show up. And from these handles, you can resize, and you see that resizing reflects in the scale here, so you can get it exactly the size that you want. You can use the rotate handle to put it on an angle if that's something you want to do. And try to get it back to center there. And then you can also, when you've clicked on this, up here in your menu, you see image options. You can use the image option toolbar to make some other adjustments to the colors and such. So I'm going to go to, let's see what's in the adjustments. You can adjust the transparency, a little bit of the brightness, a little bit of the contrast, make it however you want it. And then under recolor, if you like, a lot of times a watermark will look better in a single color, especially when it's being printed on black and white. So if I want to take this logo and put it in a single color, I can click a recolor, and you can see how it makes it red, or I have a selection of other colors. And then when you're ready to go back to the watermark toolbar, you simply click Edit Watermark, and that brings you back to this location. And when you have the watermark on there the way you want it, then you can simply type your text over it, and you can see the text comes over the watermark. You can remove the watermark now, leaving the text, and then insert a new watermark. And I'll show you how to do that. Just click the Remove Watermark, and then you would just put a new one in. Now I'm going to delete this text for a moment here, and I want to show you a couple other options that you can use in this watermark. Now the image that you saw before of the logo was one that Andrea Meadows had created. One use you might have for a watermark is if you are sharing confidential documents, for example, test scores, discipline files, that sort of thing, with other teachers, and you want to note that that's confidential, you could put a confidential watermark. You can go to the image and select the Google image search, but I like to go a different route for a very specific reason. So I'm going to go up here to Google, and if I want to find a confidential watermark, I went up here and typed in confidential, and I clicked on images, and it brings up images, but I want to go to the tools to make sure I'm using usage rights that have commercial and other licenses. Now it's going to limit my search a little bit, but I know that I'm safe using these. I'll pick that, I'll open image as, and I'll save it. Then I can go back to my document on upload. You can see the image here, and I'm going to open that, and it brings the image into there. And again, I can use my options to reposition it, change the color, that sort of thing. Another option that I thought that you could use a watermark for would be to use drafts in student writing, first draft, second draft. So what I did to create my own first draft watermark is I went into Google Drawings, and I just used word art there and created a first draft, and saved that, downloaded it actually, downloaded it as a PNG file. Have it in my folder here, or in my drive, and I'll go in here to upload that. And there's my first draft. Bring that in. And there it is, and I can adjust it. Now the nice thing about this is after I put text on it, I can, after it's been edited, it will only edit the text, it won't edit the watermark. I can go back in and put then a second draft if I'm a student, and then submit my second draft or third draft or final draft, or however. I can create my own watermark for that. So that's another use case for that. And finally, I was thinking about the little kids. And one thing I know that from having my own that kids like is they like to have their own pictures on the page. Now you can do this from here, and I really can't show you how to do it exactly, but when I go to select image, if you click on camera, you can take a picture from your webcam and then put that image as a background. I can't do that here because the recording software that I'm using will shut off if I turn on the camera, because it's two different input sources. So what I did is I went in and took a picture and I saved it, and I put the picture in my file. So I'm going to select that, and then when the file pops in, you can see it goes in as my background. It's a goofy picture, but I can't help it. And then you can text on top of that, and there it is. Now one way that I was thinking you could use this is you could have the students type their story first, and then when they're finished, as a reward, then they can take a picture and load it as a watermark. So there's just a few ways that you can use a watermark in Google now that it's here. I hope my use case scenarios give you some ideas where you can use this, and that you have enough technical skill now that you know how to insert a watermark. I hope this is helpful to you, and as always, have a great day.